So I'm here today to tell you about what we are going to show you in each episode. What are the segments that we are going to discuss in each episode. Every episode we have designed in such a way that it's a combination of 5 or more than 5 segments. What are they? Of course, this same order may not be followed, but I would like to tell you the segments. There will be conversation, story narration, then you would also find an inspirational incident from Grace's personality's life, or an anecdote, or a parable, grammar, and a quote for you to think over. Now I shall tell you individually about these segments. So first I had mentioned about conversation. So conversation is supposed to be between two people. They would come and discuss some issue before you. Then when they discuss, note down what are the points that they are discussing. You would have a story narration. A story would be narrated to you, and on the screen you find the scrolling coming up. Follow the scrolling and the narration. Try to learn the new vocabulary which is being used, the grammar, the structures, etc. Then another segment where either we would have inspirational incidents from great personalities' lives, or an anecdote or a parable which would be narrated to you. Once again the same point comes in. Observe the vocabulary that is being used, the structures, the grammar that is being used. And in another segment we would directly discuss grammar for you, because grammar is the backbone of the language. So in the grammar we would give the explanation for that topic. There will be some nice examples, the usage part, and also exercises which either would be in this episode or the next episode. Now sometimes these grammar issues also, they may not be completely discussed in one particular episode. Sometimes they may be carried over to the next episode and so on. And we would also show you one quote, one inspirational quotation. When that quote is shown, think about that quote, cogitate on it, try to understand and imbibe that idea and follow it in your life. So this is how we have made it a mixture of different things put together, and with the main aim, only one aim, that is learning of English. English is a language, and to learn the language you need to expose yourself to many things. So that's how we have designed these episodes, and I hope you will be able to learn the language quickly and easily. That's what each episode of our telecast would be giving you. Okay? So right away we shall get into the episode. Now a grammar item for you. Learn the grammar and speak the language well.
Hello viewers, welcome back. In the previous episode, we stopped at this sentence where Karunakar gave us this example. He went for booking, or should we say he went to book the tickets. Now whether to use the gerunds or the infinitives. Alright Karunakar, now let us examine this sentence. They went for booking, they went to book the tickets. Now Karunakar, if I ask you one question, why did they go?
To book the tickets.
Perfect. Okay, so then you can say that this to and this ing. Alright viewers, let me tell you what are these two infinitives. These two infinitive means to plus base verb. Base verb in the sense the V1 form, right? So when we use this to plus V1, that is called this to infinitive, and this is also very commonly used in written and also in spoken English. So these gerunds or to infinitives are very handy, and they are very useful when you're writing essays and précis in English, because there you have word limit, and in that word limit you have to complete the essay, and
Yes.
then ideas must be more but the words must be less. then these gerunds and these two infinitives come handy there and we can make use of them. So then, alright? Now, Damshad, why did they go? To book, right? So now basically you're talking about a purpose. Now you're talking about a purpose of their going, alright? So when you talk about purpose, in that case, it is better to use 2 plus V1 than this ing. Okay, for example, now is it right to say I'm coming here learning English? What is your purpose of coming here?
To learning.
To learn. Very nice. So then you yourselves will understand now what is the purpose. Then it is not this learning, it is to learn. To learn. Okay. Or you want to say I went to Chennai for attending an interview. Now is the sentence right? I went to Chennai for attending an interview. What was your purpose of going to Chennai?
To attend.
What was the purpose?
To attend in
To attend the
the
interview.
Right. So then this preposition for and attending is wrong here. Here you must say to attend, not for attending. So the purpose of the visit to Chennai was to attend an interview. So when we talk about purpose, it is always better to use to infinitive than this ing. And what is the thumb rule of gerund? You can replace it with
non.
you can replace it with it. Can you say I went to Chennai it? No, you can say I went to Chennai it. I went it. Can you
No.
say I went it? No. So then that is also one way of checking whether you are using the right word or not. Replace it with it. If it is convenient, you can do it. It's a gerund. If you say no, this is not matching or suiting, then we can say it's not a gerund. Okay, so have you understood? So basic difference is this between gerunds and the infinitives. In English, 90 to 95% of words they take two infinitives. Alright, maybe 5 to 10% words they may take gerunds. So then it is easy to remember these gerunds more than two infinitive because two infinitive has a much broader and wider usage when we compare it with gerunds. Alright, but then it is a noun. This is not a noun. We can replace with it. This cannot be replaced with the help of it. Alright, it functions as a noun, but this functions as a purpose of the action. Alright, this is the noun of the subject of the action. This is the subject of the action and this is the purpose why the subject is doing like that. So broadly we can say like that. Okay, so now I will give you some verbs then which can take only infinitives or which can take only gerunds. Alright, so then the first set of words I would say alright, so now roughly or broadly we can say that these words take gerunds or infinitive. I will not tell you which one. I will make a sentence and you just see whether it is, does it sound good or does it appear good. It's time having lunch. Does the sentence appear good or sound good? What can we say?
Time to learn. It's time to have lunch.
Yes. Now it doesn't sound good when you say it's time having lunch. No. Then this having is wrong. It is better we go with this. It's time to have. It's time to have lunch. Okay. Now if I want to use this, I can't afford buying this car. I can't afford buying this car. Is it alright to say I can't afford buying this car?
No, man.
No.
To.
So what should the sentence be?
I can't afford to buy.
Right, I can't afford to buy this car. Right, similarly. Alright. Now, Firoz, you said businessman. Now, I want to say, I would like becoming a businessman. Firoz, is the sentence right if you say, I would like becoming a businessman?
No,
Then what is the right one?
I would like to become a
Yes, I would like to become a businessman. Next one. Alright. I want I want leaving early today. I want leaving early today. Can we say I want leaving?
no.
I want to
I
leave
want to
Yes,
leave.
I want to
To leave.
leave early today. Yes. She needs practicing.
She needs
She
to
needs
practice.
right. She needs
to
to
practice.
practice. Yes. And I have decided discontinuing the
I
course.
have decided to
To
Right,
discontinue
I
this
have
course.
decided to discontinue the course. Very nice. So then most of the time you can also depend upon your instinct. So when you say, when you write the sentence or they may not sound good, then you may understand that okay, yes, maybe ing is wrong. I have to use 2 plus v1, or it can be the opposite also. Somewhere this 2 plus v1 would not sound good and you may feel that oh, maybe ing is better. Alright. So for these words, we have to make use of only infinitives. These words cannot take a gerund. Now let's see where we have to make use of the gerunds. The example is, how about to go for a walk?
Yes.
Is it right to say how about to go for a walk?
No, ma'am.
Then what should be the right one?
How about going for a walk?
Yes. Now after this how about, to go sounds a bit odd. Alright, we're not very comfortable with this expression. It is better to say how about going. How about going for a walk? I wouldn't mind to wait for you. Is it alright to say I wouldn't mind to wait for you?
No, ma'am.
Then,
I wouldn't waiting for you.
yes, I wouldn't mind waiting. So this 2 plus v1, it is better if we replace it with the help of a gerund. Alright. Okay. So then, I enjoy to read books.
I enjoy reading books.
enjoy.
Right. I enjoy reading books. You should avoid to eat junk food.
You should avoid eating junk
You
food.
should avoid eating junk food. Alright. I suggest to practice more.
I suggest to practicing
Yes,
more.
I suggest practicing more. I suggest to buy this dictionary.
I suggest
Buying this
Right, I
dictionary.
suggest buying.
this.
I suggest buying this dictionary. All right, and stop to make noise.
stop making noise.
Right, stop making noise. You can say stop to make noise. Stop making noise. Very nice. So then these words, then they take only ing. All right. Now we have another option also here. Now these are some words And now this is the word bother, and I have used this bother in some examples. She didn't bother to improve her language, and she didn't bother improving her language. Now, when we have examples like this, which one do you think is right?
I hope both are correct, ma'am.
Both sound good?
Both sounds good.
Very nice. So then these are the cases where we can use anything. Alright, we can say to do, which is the infinitive. We can also say doing. So these are the verbs which can take gerunds also and infinitives also. So she didn't bother to improve, or she didn't bother improving her language. Similarly, we can make use of these other words also. Alright, can we start with like? Can you give some examples with like?
I would like to suggest.
No, only like. Only like.
She
She
likes
like to
playing
shop.
cricket.
Alright, she likes to shop. Otherwise, Karunakar, we can also say she likes.
Shopping.
Playing.
Right, she likes shopping. So she likes to shop, or she likes shopping. Similarly, is this love? Right? Firoz, you said no, I love drawing, painting. You said I love painting. Can you make it into this one?
I love to paint.
I love to paint. Perfect. I love painting, or I love to paint. Yes. Suppose read, no, drink coffee.
I prefer
I-
to
I prefer to drink
drink
coffee.
coffee.
Otherwise, ing?
I prefer drinking coffee.
Perfect. I prefer drinking coffee. Very nice. Start. They started. They started.
Practicing.
Very nice. They started practicing, and they started
To
practice.
practice.
to practice.
To
Right?
practice.
They started to work, or they started to form a queue, or they started forming queues. Very nice. Begin. I began.
Early.
No, ing or this one? I
I
began
began too
early.
early.
No, but then early is an adverb. You cannot say I began too early. To begin some work, to begin something, to begin something. She began 2 plus v1 or ing? She began, I no, suppose somebody tells you a joke, alright, and then you want to say they all began. When somebody tells
Laughing.
you a joke, very nice.
Laughing.
Right. So they all began laughing. So they all began laughing, or she began to. She began to laugh, or she began to arrange the things. Very nice. And similar is this word continue. So they continued. Some students in the class, sometimes they continue
Talking.
Talking.
right? They continue talking. All right. And if they disturb the teacher, I would say they continue.
To disturb.
talk.
Right, they continue to
To
disturb
talk.
the teacher or the class. Very nice. Okay, so now with the help of these words, you will understand. So some can take both also. So some take only infinitives, some takes gerunds, some can be, we can have an option, as you said, both sound good. So then the choice is ours. We can do this one also, or we can use this one also. Is it clear? Okay. All right. So now so here one point we have to remember, alright, if the verbs have this to, which is a preposition, these three prepositions, they follow only ing. Here it would be wrong to use a V1. So I look forward to meet would be incorrect, because you feel it is to and let me use a first verb. No, I don't look forward to meet. We should say I look forward to meeting. I look forward to meeting you. Alright. So they are committed to. They are committed to serving. They are committed to serving. Then we can say they are committed to serve. No, they are committed to serving. Alright. And this is B form. You can use am, is, are, was, were. I'm used to any ing.
I'm used to playing.
Walking.
Alright, I'm used to walking long distance, so you don't mind walking 2-3 kilometers also, because you are habituated to. So I'm used to walking, I'm used to playing continuously, I'm used to practicing for 3 hours, I'm used to working hard. Very nice. So when these verbs follow this preposition to, then the rule says after this to preposition we have to make use of this ing. Alright, is it clear? Now, as I told you, these gerunds have limited usage, not as much as this infinitive. So broadly we can say that when these are the verbs, these verbs only take gerunds. they cannot take two infinitives. Some of them we have discussed already, but then some of them are new also here. So okay, admit. When you say admit, he admitted committing the crime. So then after this admit, we have to use ing. So now all of them, they need a gerund. Usually normally they don't take a infinitive. Alright, for example, avoid.
Avoid.
Avoid smoking.
Yes, please avoid smoking. Yes. I consider joining. I consider joining some institute. So maybe you want to have some coaching, and you want to consider to join some coaching. So I consider coaching. Deny. He denied coming late. He denied stealing, to say that no, I did not steal. He denied stealing. Or I dislike. Alright, I dislike going, waiting. Alright. People enjoy. People enjoy.
Summer.
Ing. People enjoy.
People enjoy swimming.
People enjoy swimming. People enjoy playing cricket. All right, or walking around Tank Bund in the evening. All right. Yes.
Escaping.
No, you should not add ing to this. After this, we need an ing.
I escaped this work.
Right. I escaped it. You want to say in the place of it, you have to use ing. Suppose agar if it is in homework, then I escaped working. Very nice. I escaped doing the homework. Very nice. So then randomly we can say that all these words take this ing more than this 2 plus v1. Okay. Now I will give you some sentences. Just try and find whether the sentences are correct or incorrect. Now these are some sentences. Just if you can find out the error. I want becoming a government employee. Yes, Firoz?
I want to become.
Very nice. So this becoming is wrong. It is incorrect. You have to say to become. Okay. Second one, Mahmood.
I would like to cook a meal for you.
Yes. No, I would like cooking.
Yes.
So then this ing has to go, and you have to add one to.
To.
I like to cook.
Cook.
Yes, Karunakar. He enjoys to solve puzzles. Yes. So now to, he enjoys solving. Alright, he enjoys solving puzzles. Then, anybody? I
I
suggest.
suggest to refer a good dictionary.
That's what I'm writing.
I suggest referring to a good dictionary.
Yes. So here this 2 is incorrect. Add one ing here. Suggest. I suggest referring. So then if you have a doubt, I suggest referring to a good dictionary. Okay. And the last
Do you
one.
mind parking the car?
Yes. So no, would you mind to park? Would you mind parking the car there? Right. So these are some concepts which we have to remember for gerunds and to infinitives, where which one should be used. I hope you must have enjoyed and learned the differences between the gerunds and infinitives, and exactly where and how to use gerunds, and where and not use maybe infinitives. Thank you for being with us.
Now, listen to two people conversing with each other. They discuss some important issue.
Hi Varsha, good afternoon.
Hi Mansi,
Varsha, you recently told me about interview skills, and you mentioned some of the things that they do in interviews to check our personality, our behavior, and all. I recently heard about something called group discussion, which they also do in the interview process.
Exactly.
Can you tell me about that?
Okay. Now, group discussions are not only conducted at interviews, they are also conducted at school, college, and at workplace. Let me start by telling what a group discussion is. Group discussion is a new trend that is used to evaluate or to check a student's personality traits ante a student's capabilities, abilities, and their skills are checked. What a group discussion is, a group of participants are given a topic to discuss about.
Okay.
Now, what kind of topics? General topics like how to reduce pollution, how to eradicate poverty, global warming, such kind of topics. And they are given a limited time to discuss about this. What happens is, in a group, when you're discussing a same topic, a similar topic, for one topic you get multiple answers, multiple discussions. So based on this, the candidate will be evaluated. Now, how exactly are these conducted? These are conducted when you're at your school level, at your college level, and at a workplace. But before we begin, let me also remind it is very important that a group discussion must always lead to a solution or a relevant discussion. It must not lead into an argument or a personal debate or a fight.
Okay. So, how do I prepare for a group discussion then?
Okay, you can prepare your group discussion right from the school age. In case now you are preparing for an interview. But before we go to the interview, let me tell how it is started from the school level itself. Now, at school level, group discussions are conducted. Yes, they are conducted. How? Now, a group of children are given a common topic to discuss about. What happens? It will be very interesting for young students at that age to indulge in such interesting group activities. It will improve their language skill. It will be very fun for them to discuss because they will be discussing with their own friends and they will be able to think and talk much better. Then at a college level, what happens here is your communication skills are improved. They start conducting more of group discussions at college level. Once you are reaching your college level, what would happen? You will be getting prepared for your interviews, for your job.
Yeah.
So, group discussions are conducted more at college level so that they will keep you prepared. What happens is your communication skills are improved. Communication skills are the most basic and the most important skill a candidate must have today.
I agree.
For the job interview, yes?
Yeah.
So, your communication skills are improved when you are conducting group discussions. And fear of audience is also reduced. Fear of audience ante అంతమంది జనం ముందు మాట్లాడటంలో భయం అనేది ఏదైతే ఉందో అది తగ్గిపోతుంది. Why? Because at college they are all your classmates, they are your friends, you are discussing along with them. So your fear of audience is also reduced. Group discussion will not only help put forward your ideas and your views, but also you will be able to listen and understand the other person's thoughts and ideas as well. Now, group discussion at a workplace, coming to your point, it is conducted at two stages.
Okay.
One will be at the interview level and the other will be after you've joined the organization.
Okay.
So, at the interview level, the group discussion is conducted at the initial stage to assess a candidate.
Okay.
What they do is, they call a group of candidates. They give them a topic to discuss and the company or the organization will evaluate each candidate
Okay.
basis of how their language skills are, how well they are able to communicate, how confidently they are able to conduct themselves within that group, and how well are they able to put forward their ideas and views.
But Varsha, when I'm putting forward my thoughts and trying to tell the people there what I'm thinking, what if I make a mistake or I say something that I did not mean to say? What do I do?
When you're, see, group discussion need not lead to an ultimate answer or a solution. It is only discussing about your ideas. Like you may have one type of idea, I may have one type of idea. Whether correct or not is a different scenario, but you putting it up confidently is what matters. If you are making a mistake, then you will simply have to correct and rephrase your statement. That is all.
But I should not lose my confidence, right?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
That is assessed by the organization also.
Okay.
Along with it, your team building abilities are also checked. Team building abilities ante how well you are able to conduct yourself within that group, how well you are able to lead that group with your positive thoughts and ideas, how you are able to participate and contribute in that group. Endukante once we have joined the office, our work will be on team basis. We'll all be divided into teams. So we should be able to work in a team or a group atmosphere. That is also checked. And keeping all these check or call these evaluation methods, a group discussion helps the organization to find out which candidate is the best for their organization. And once you've joined the organization, ikkada kuda group discussions are conducted on regular basis. For example, the company has a problem. They have a question. Now, we have a client who is asking for a solution. We have a problem here, we need a solution. Time ledu మన దగ్గర time ledu. We need solution very quickly. What do? They call a group of candidates. They give them the problem.
Yeah.
Now what happens is, within the limited time, a group of candidates are involved in discussing. So for one problem, you get multiple solutions. You can choose the best solution for that problem, and the problem is also solved immediately.
That is a good way to do it also.
Exactly. A lot of time is saved and your brain activity is improved, your communication skills are improved, your logical reasoning is improved.
Yeah.
So a group discussion is conducted at several phases. Only thing is, we need to be prepared. We need to prepare ourselves how to conduct, how to be confident when it comes to discussing in a group. How do we do that? First and foremost, you need to start reading. Start with your newspapers. Subject knowledge to patu, reading newspapers, be aware of current affairs. All of those also, it really matters. When you read something in the newspaper, you're not able to understand a word, underline it and then refer to the dictionary. The moment you know the meaning of it, use it in a sentence. That is how you improve your vocabulary. The more you're aware, the more your ideas would generate. The more ideas you generate, the better you will be able to put them out. So group discussion is used at several places. I hope I gave you good tips.
You did. Now with this new information, I believe I'm much better prepared for my interview. Thank you, Varsha.
Great.
Well, now listen to a story. Try to observe the vocabulary and the grammar in it.
Some stories are for fun. Some stories teach us a moral. Some stories even make us involved in them. So we travel along with the writer or along with the characters too. Such a wonderful story is here, the rope trick. We know about many tricks that magicians do. It's not such kind of a trick, but a giant was tricked. A man and his family were on their way to the city. At noon on the second day of their journey, they came upon a huge banyan tree and decided to rest under it for a while. You know banyan tree, it's our national tree too. The man did not want to stay idle, so he decided to make a rope. This man is a workaholic. He didn't want to sit relaxedly. See, one or the other work he wanted to do. So he sent his eldest son to a town nearby to buy jute. He sent his second son to buy vegetables and the third to buy provisions. He assigned duties to his daughters-in-law too. One was sent to fetch water, another firewood. The third one was asked to knead the dough, means mixing dough for rotis. When he had got all the materials he needed, the man sat under the tree to make the rope. So they all obliged him. They did what he said. So they brought all the things which he asked for. So then he sat under the tree and he started to work. Now there was a giant living in the tree. You know who was a giant? You know about that Aladdin's magic lamp? Like a genie, like that, a giant, a huge demon. He had been observing the man and his family ever since they had camped under his tree. Camped. They halted over there and they were doing all their works sitting under the tree and around the tree. He wondered why the man was making a row. Finally, unable to contain his curiosity, he got down and asked him. He was very curious about that. He wanted to know what was happening over there. That's what our unsurprised desire to know something is called curiosity. The man concealed his fear and kept on working. Looking defiantly at the giant, he said he was making the rope to tie him. The giant was shaken. The man, he could conceal his fear, but the giant with his huge body also could not control his fear. Though his body was huge, but he was very timid at heart. We also see people like that. When we look at them, we feel that they are very brave, but at heart they are very timid. Though big, he was timid at heart. He fell at the man's feet and begged for mercy. I will make you rich, he said, and digging up a chest of treasure, gave it to him. Treasure, a hidden money, or gold coins, ornaments, etc. The man was overjoyed. He cut short his journey and returned to his village a rich man. So he became rich overnight. When his neighbor heard how he had come by his wealth, he immediately gathered his own family and set out for the giant's abode. So he also wanted to go there. There, he began issuing instructions to his sons and daughters-in-law. But his sons refused to leave the shade of the tree to run errands, and his daughters-in-law just ignored him. So none of them listened to him. He had to do everything himself. Eventually, he got all the materials he needed and he sat down under the tree to make the row, like the man early what he did. He was thrilled when the giant descended from the tree. Why are you making that rope? Asked the giant. Why else but to tie you? Said the man. The giant smiled. So you are afraid, said the man. Better give me a chest of treasure or I won't spare you. The man started threatening the giant. If your own family is not afraid of you, why should I be? Laughed the giant, climbing back onto his tree. Tie your sons and daughters-in-law before thinking of tying anybody else. So this says that the head of the family should have a hold on his whole family. So every person in the family should listen to that head of the family. We had these type of families earlier when joint family culture was in our society. So they enjoyed, the elders enjoyed their command over the family, and the youngers were enriched with the wisdom and knowledge of the elders in the family. But now hardly we see that. Thank you.
a parable that now you're going to listen to. Observe the words, the structures, etc.
Hello everyone, good day to you all. This is English for All, and now we will hear another interesting parable. Parable is nothing but Neeti Katalu, moral stories. Like any other moral stories, this also has an important moral that we all need to learn and understand. Mansi, would you like to share one with us?
Yes, I would like to. So this story is about a lady who once lived in a valley side. So once there was a lady by the name Emily. And Emily lived on the side of a valley in a small town. She started a business for herself and she became quite successful at it. Over time, she started acquiring lot of money, lot of properties, lot of assets by the help of her relatives, her friends. Over time, this money started changing her attitude. She started asking favors of people and always making everything about money. If she would help somebody, she would ask for a financial favor from it, which means if I help you, you should give me some money in return. Anything she would do, she would ask for a bribe. At the end of the day, she oriented her entire lifestyle around profit. How much do I get out of this? How much can I make out of this?
She related every activity around money.
She made everything about money. This did not affect her personal life, but one day a particular incident did. So as I said, her attitude continued this way, and one day her friends and relatives came to her. So her relatives told her, long ago we helped you when you needed some advice and all of that, when you were starting your business, but now we request you to return that favor. So we need some help in a particular issue. Will you help us? She was silent for some time, but then she said, okay, what do you want? So they said, no, we would like some advice from you because you've become successful and you have definitely overcome certain obstacles. So we would like some advice from you, some suggestions, and also some bit of financial help. So when they said that word, financial help, when they uttered it, she lost her cool. She got a little frustrated and she said, suggestions maybe I can give it to you, but I don't think I can help you with the money matter. So they said, we are not asking you for a large sum of money, just a small lump is all we're asking for. Why don't you help us? And she says, do you know anything about the value of money? Do you know how difficult it is to earn money to the level that I have done? Do you know the kind of effort, the kind of sacrifice needed for that? You have no idea about it. So you have no right to ask me for that money. Take the suggestion and go, is what she told them. This really hurt her relatives. And of course, her friends were also there witnessing that entire event. And so were the people, the helpers in her own house. She had a huge house, and even the helpers in the house were also witnessing this. So hearing this response, her relatives felt it is better we leave. So before leaving, they said, you keep your money with you, you keep your suggestions also with you. We don't want anything. We will find another way to make this work for us. So she felt that answer from the relatives was an arrogant answer. And in her own arrogance and stubbornness, in her pride, she answered, fine, go. You will one day come back and understand the value of what I am willing to give. But they never came back. After this incident, slowly everybody she knew began to ostracize her. Ostracize is a word that means to slowly keep somebody out of a group.
Slowly to abandon that person.
To abandon that person. Ostracizing means to slowly abandon somebody from a group of people. So everyone she knew began to ostracize her. Her relatives began to ostracize her because they lost their trust in her. When they helped her and she refused to help them, they lost their trust, which was there for so long. Her friends slowly began to reduce the care and the affection with which they would behave with her. And everybody was angry. But in fact, even the workers in her own home were so frustrated with the way she was behaving and the guts and the gall with which she spoke to her relatives. It irritated them a lot as well. So everybody she knew began to have negative emotion towards her. Eventually, this did not affect her for some period of time, but later, since she realized that everybody was abandoning her, she felt, okay, maybe let me try to go and solve the issue. So, in her arrogance, she went to each person. First, she went to her relatives and she said, you asked for some favor a long time ago. I'm willing to help you. See the arrogance with which she spoke. Then her relatives said, no, we don't want it. We don't trust you anymore. We had a lot of trust and faith in you, but that is not there anymore, Emily. I'm sorry, you please go. There's nothing you can do to help us. These words hurt her. And she said, you don't understand. There is nothing wrong that has happened. You can trust me. I'm still a good person. They said, no, your actions have spoken louder than your words. We don't want your help. We don't trust you anymore. She said, I will give you whatever you want. I will give you wonderful clothes and wonderful quality food. You trust me. Trust me. They said no. Fine. She went to her friends and they were very angry because of her actions. They did not want to care and show the affection. And she said, she went to her friends and she told them, you keep visiting me every now and then, but you have stopped coming. Why are you not showing that affection and care for me? You show it. Come visit me. They said, we don't want to. Your actions were very rude to your relatives. What kind of person are you to not show the affection for them? If you can't show it to them, you don't deserve it also. She said, I will take you wherever you want. We will go on large picnics to wonderful resorts and everywhere. I will give you jewelry, you show that affection. No, we don't want it. Your money cannot buy it. You please leave. And they cut off their friendship from her. Finally, she went to the very workers in her own home. And she told them, you are also acting so irritated with me. What is the problem? I have done nothing wrong. But they also don't listen to her. They said, you don't know the value of human relations, and that has really irritated us. If you cannot respect your own relatives and friends, how can we expect you to respect us? So they also left. She said, don't leave. I will give you jewelry. I will increase your salaries. Please don't leave. They said, you have not understood the value of life. You think that money is everything, and that is not what it is, Madam Emily. I'm sorry, but it is time for us also to leave your life. So everybody that Emily knew finally left her. She had her money, she had her properties, she had her assets, but at the end of the day, she lived alone in a huge house. And for the rest of her years, she lived a lonely, unhappy life. So what is it that we understand from this story? We understood that Emily has a lot of money. She was a greedy person. She had everything that she could ever ask for. But at the end of the day, she did not have the basic things like love, care, trust, happiness. None of these she had. And we also understand that these are not some things that can be bought by money.
Exactly.
So the moral of the story is, money is not everything. Money is not the most important thing in life. There are some things which are so essential for a person in their life which cannot be bought by money. And we should remember those things and give priority to them rather than to money and financial entities.
Exactly. I think she has faced and learned the lesson the hard way. She was so much driven by money, and she was so much driven by the fact that if I earn money, then I have everything. She gave more importance to money than her relationships, than her emotions, than the affection. She was completely into earning money and making herself rich. And she forgot that she was the most poor person when it comes to emotions. She forgot money can't buy everything. Right from her family members, as in her relatives, to her friends, everybody saw the way her arrogance, her pride, her lust for money had already gotten the better of her. And she lost all of these valuable relations because the pride and the arrogance and the money that completely was taken over. That is exactly why I think she also learned the lesson the hard way.
Exactly, you got that just right. As you said, human relations and relationships with people is something so valuable. Because if you notice, billionaires are there, but there are people who are not earning as much money, but they are still happy. They're leading a very satisfactory life.
Exactly.
Why is that? Because they have that lovely relationship of family, of friends, of husband, wives, of children and parents. All those relationships are there, and those are strong. At the end of the day, you sleep happily because of those.
True.
Not because of money.
Exactly. I'm sure you're trying to say that earning money is important, correct, but let not the money earning turn into a pride and arrogance, and let not that lust take over you to an extent that you let go, or your relatives or your family members or your friends let go you completely and abandon you. Now that status and that loneliness status will eat you from within. No matter how much you earn, no matter how many mansions you build, no matter how many assets you acquire, you will never be happy in that kind of a life. It is good to be successful, yes. It is very much more important to manage your relations. As in, what Mansi's story and what Mansi tried to tell is to sort out your priorities and give your relationship a little more importance than your money, than your education or academics. All of this is important, yes, but to sort out the priorities and to maintain relationships and to balance them all is very much important.
Exactly. At the end of the day, money can help you live in a material world. It
That
gives
is
you
all.
happiness in the material world. But in your personal life, things like happiness, character, values, relationships with families and friends, trust and love, all these what will give you happiness in your personal life. And
True.
money can buy none of them.
Absolutely correct. And I am sure you all also caught the same moral that we all tried to explain, and that was an excellent story, Mansi, and I'm sure you all enjoyed it listening. Thank you so much.